How's the weather up there on the high horse that you fed with your daddy's money? How's it feel to be fake as a motherfucker? Hey, let me tell you something. They don't give a damn when the money's gone, when the people in the stands don't sing along. Cause you know you ain't the man that's behind the song, thinking it'll work, but it won't. Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up. Anything they ask you, do it. Well, I know the ringer, I've been drugged to hell and back, been through it. Your time's tick-tock and I said, and I'm unapologetic. Cancel, yeah, you can try. You can't cancel what's been tonight. I ain't been handed shit, no silver spoon inheritance. Tired of trying to be what other people want me to be. And now you get what you see. Now you get what you say. I get knocked down, I get back up. Anything they ask you, do it. Well, I know the to hell and back, been through it. Your time's tick-tock and I said, and I'm unapologetic. If you need an explanation, go. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up. Anything they ask you, do it. Well, I know the ringer, I've been drugged to hell and back, been through it. Your time's tick-tock and I said, and I'm unapologetic. And I'm unapologetic.
What's up, what's up, what's up? It is, of course, your host with the most, David Smith, Armchair Commentary, a.k.a. Great North Sports, a.k.a. And I am joined live in Indianapolis, Indiana, for the Scouting Combine with Jeremy Green of ESPN Asheville, NFLDraft.net, parts unknown. One time I saw him fight a coyote.
OnlyFans, no dicks, just pics. Let's go.
And we're here. We're hanging out at the NFL Scouting Combine. Super happy that I got the opportunity to get down here. Dubs is away for the night. Was ready to roll, but we gave him the night off. Guy deserves it. Weren't sure if we were going to be able to do this, and we thought, you know what? Let's just do it both on both platforms. So we are live on the Sportsocracy and Great North Sports. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share it out, like it. Does more than you could ever possibly know. And we got a nice, easy show for you tonight. We have been pumping out draft content on the Sportsocracy all day long. We have been busy trying to get this going for you. Interviews, workouts start tomorrow.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm in full on draft overload. I'm starting to hate some of these draft prospects. Some of their stupid faces. Some of them I still love, but there are others that I'm really tired of hearing your mouth and your
Can't help it.
And your name and all of your deficiencies and all the things you do wrong. And this is the point where I hit full. Okay. Can we just fast forward 60 days?
It's going to be tough because now is the time where we're in silly season, we're in lion season. And we're all over that. I do have to ask you before we get deep into, we're going to talk a little bit about Deebo Samuel. We're going to talk about Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, probably Devontae Adams going with him. There was a big hockey tournament, and you actually got to pay attention to it.
I did. I watched it. I fully felt as though we as the United States were going to take the thing you do goodest.
Yeah.
And we didn't. But by God, we fought like hell. Like, hey, you're going to boo our national anthem? Cool. I enjoyed, I'm not a big hockey guy.
Not the hockey guy.
Johnny Miller, is that his name?
JT Miller.
JT Miller.
Yeah.
Who just dropped gloves like, I'm going to fight fucking somebody.
Somebody's
I don't
getting
know
fought.
who. I'm not even specifically angry at any one of you.
No.
He just threw it down, and it was, somebody is going to fight me.
He grabbed the first guy available. It was not a guy you should have wanted to fight.
No.
I
think that was Ivan. That was Canadian Ivan Drago.
Colton Parayko, I'm pretty sure, is who he fought, and is not a fun guy. What a way to do an all-star break. Hey, other leagues better take notice.
Well, I mean, the NBA could do it, except the U.S. would get their absolute ass handed to them by Europe. I'm not sure they wouldn't get it handed to them by Canada at this point.
SGA is on a tear.
Well, that's your MVP.
Yeah.
So, Canada gets the MVP, and, I mean, it would be him and R.J. Barrett.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins. I'm forgetting. Is that Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray.
I mean, that's a pretty solid starting five.
Yeah, you'll add Kelly Olynyk is in there somewhere, but
He shouldn't be.
But he is though for
Kelly Olynyk
veteran presence.
Kelly Olynyk looks like he smells like birdseed, and I don't know why.
Does.
I think that a lot when I see him on television. And
Yeah.
but yeah, the Four Nations thing, great, absolutely great way to do it.
I loved it. Let's see some more patriotism in sports. I'm here for it. I fuck with the little patriotism in sports.
I'm good
to
with
a
it
point.
like once a year.
To a point. I don't need it every day. I don't need it in NFL regular season.
You turn into Randy Marsh real quick. Like, no, this is America. Yeah.
I hear no bell. It was a good time. So we've got a lot to cover tonight. We're going to not totally get away from some draft stuff. Obviously, Jeremy is fully invested in the draft process right now. But there are a lot of interesting moves that are potentially happening, and we're seeing a little more smoke with some of them. Stacey Tuberville's already in the chat asking about quarterbacks. And why don't we start with your New York Jets, which I think we have, I don't want to say a definitive, but there's a lean right now in the process for the Jets, and that's in the draft.
Well, the lean is that they love Jackson Dart. And
yes.
See, for me at this point, anybody that's listened to us for any period of time, you know that I have long had an affinity for Jackson Dart. I once said he was going to be the number one pick in the draft when he was just a freshman at USC.
Yes.
So I really don't have a problem if the Jets take Jackson Dart. Now, I don't think he would be your starter to what Stacey asked. I believe that Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter for the Jets.
Yep.
That now has become, the Tyrod Taylor thing has become like, you get to a certain point and it's the Wednesday before prom and you know you're taking your cousin Alice and you don't like it and you don't want to tell people that because you're afraid they're going to make fun of you. And so you just fight it and you're like, my girlfriend goes to another school, bro. You don't know her. You're stupid.
She's Canadian.
She's Canadian, bro. I'm flying her down. She's stopping in Newark getting some margs and abs.
She's going to bring some all-dressed chips.
Yeah, and she's going to do over-the-pants hand stuff. And it's going to be awesome. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm awesome and you suck. So.
Oh, man. It's too funny to see. I think that you're obviously it's Tyrod, though. Like, you're not.
I just loved how pissed off Aaron Glenn got every time somebody said his name. Like, no, we talk about all 50.
Oh, my God.
Like, AG, bro, do you want me to list off the long snapper? Well, I mean, I'm going to ask you questions about players. This is how it goes.
We thought about this, though, today, and I think we kind of, we hashed it out a little bit on the ESPN show earlier. I think that he was just mad at Ben Johnson and all the love that Ben Johnson was getting, and he was like, you know what? Fuck you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good, too. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, you know what? I may be 5'7", but it's above average. And if you don't like it and you don't believe me, I'll show it to you. He walked up pissed off.
He was mad. Right? He came in like he did not want to be there.
I was in his so when he did his introductory press conference, I was in the Zoom pool.
Yeah.
So he saw my face. Like we locked eyes, and he took a step toward me, and then I kind of looked at his face, and it was, I'm pissed at everything, and I went, I think I'm good. Like we don't need to chop it up right now.
He was not happy. There was nothing that he was happy about.
No, I mean, and look, I get it. I thought it was unnecessarily combative. So I mean, Stacy, my answer would be for the Jets. I'm gonna answer this backwards. The Jets, it's Tyrod Taylor. Probably with Jackson Dart as the backup and Jordan Travis as the 3.
Yep.
Then you get into 2 that are much more difficult answers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to go back to my prom reference. The Steelers don't even really have a cousin.
No.
They're going to try to sneak in their old yet slightly doable mom and hope nobody notices it in Justin Fields. But by God, they're going to ask out every girl in the class before they commit to mommy dare to spend a date.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad for Justin Fields because it feels like
Why?
he is. Because
he did this to himself.
He did do this to himself. I feel bad because he probably should have kept that opportunity, but you brought Russell Wilson in to see what he was.
He no doubt should have kept that opportunity. He was the better quarterback for the Steelers.
He was the
they were
quarterback.
much more difficult to deal with Justin Fields than they were with Russell Wilson.
Yes, but the moon ball. The moon ball was back.
Yeah, look, Pittsburgh was to me the most non-threatening team in the NFL with Russell
100%.
Wilson. Okay, you're competitive and you're better than the dregs of the league, and you beat the Jets to death on Sunday Night Football. That doesn't mean that you're good. That doesn't mean that you're an awesome team. Pittsburgh's more interesting to me because I think they're going to do something desperate. I have long said I think Jalen Milroe ends up in Pittsburgh because this is what they do.
Yeah.
They find somebody that they're comfortable with, and they get locked in. The year they took Kenny Pickett in 2022, it was the worst kept secret in the world. That they loved he was a Yinzer, and they loved that he was Pittsburgh, and they thought that he could just take care of the football, and they completely ignored the fact that he had hands that like he would have struggled to give handsies to a raccoon, and it didn't matter. They just didn't care. I don't know who cares. He's got little hands. Who cares? He played quarterback.
I believe you're talking about Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, though.
Yeah. Okay. Kenny. Okay, all right. So I'm friends with a handful of people in the NBA.
Yeah.
Big Shot Bob Orry is probably the one that I'm the closest to.
I love Bob Orry.
Of all players in the NBA.
Is he like 7-time champion or something like that?
10. Yeah, he's 10. Kenny Pickett has exponentially less to do with being a one-time Super Bowl champion than Big Shot Bob had to do with being a 10-time champ.
Oh, it's phenomenal. But it's got to stick a little bit in Steeler fans, just a little.
It shouldn't. He did nothing. I mean, he played.
He played some snaps.
He didn't mean to. Yeah, and guess what? He played some snaps, and Tanner McKee looked exponentially better than him.
Yeah.
Also a player that Jeremy was in love with the year that he came into the draft. I'm just going to start keeping a tote board of like every week. Hey, you remember when I told you he was... Okay.
Dub says Kenny Pickett's hands have never been to a place they couldn't reach.
Kenny Pickett...
You can fit into every crack.
Kenny Pickett is the guy that if you drop your keys between the seat and the dashboard...
Yeah, he got it.
You just go, AKP, you're in the game, big dog.
Tap in.
Because my 10 and an eighth, they ain't fitting in that hole.
Yeah, we'll find out where I'm at, but I'm not tiny.
Yes, I am looking forward to Dave getting to go through the combine. Hey, we have your hand measurement. There's one with wingspan that's weird because you have to hug it, and you know that there's been a bunch of big, fat, sweaty dudes that have been on that board.
Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. We do it.
I can't remember what my wingspan was. It was long. Like, it was 80-something inches.
It's always funny. This is the first time, obviously, that we have been in person. We have known each other for a long time. But we're both pretty similar. Jeremy's slightly taller than I am, a couple inches. Nothing nothing serious. It's not like it's a big deficiency there.
I also don't ever wear shoes, so I don't unless we've been outside.
Yeah,
I don't know. We just had a cop show up here.
Oh, it was a good time. Full American experience.
Yeah, Indianapolis
for the
police. First of all, I live in Asheville. And I've lived in several other cities. That was, without a doubt, the most attractive cop I've ever seen. And she came up to the door. She was sweet as she could be. She was like, "Did you call the police? You had an Amazon package stolen." And my first thought was, "Well, we've been here largely all day, and it would be hard for somebody to steal our Amazon package because we just go to the door and
it'd be there." Yeah.
Thank you for giving that to me.
It's the full experience. I think that it'll be interesting.
I swear to God, I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. If she had, and she was a Hispanic girl, if she had not been Hispanic and I didn't know her level of humor, I swear to God, I would have screamed, "He's an illegal immigrant!" Somebody call INS. I'd have done it. I would have, just to embarrass the shit out of you.
Oh, it would have been a good time.
Yeah,
nothing like a little ice right in the middle of the night.
I didn't know. I know that's a sore subject in America now. So
Stacey, the last one, Cleveland Browns. We have a team needs video that is out where we kind of talk a little bit about this, and they don't have any money.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cleveland's balling on a budget, and I mean, this isn't even like, hey, maybe I can get my date to be.
Dub says check his papers.
Let's fucking go. I mean, you didn't show me your passport when you got here, although you did know a lot about the declaration process. So.
Yeah.
With the Browns, they're balling on a budget, and it's not even, hey, I hope this girl's cool enough that our first date's going to be at Olive Garden, and I'm going to use a coupon. No, this is like, do you think she would enjoy a Bob's Big Boy?
Do you think she would enjoy a home-cooked meal of instant noodles?
If I made her a ham sandwich and called it a picnic, do you think she would think that was romantic?
Microwave instant noodles on a plaid blanket with a tea light is the level of romanticism we're getting here.
Picnic basket with me in the box.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
It's not
A1
nice.
since day one.
They're in a tough spot, so I think that's going to be there.
I mean, for me, it's Jameis Winston. I mean, you're looking at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston's the name I keep coming back to. It does appear, and this has been really loud this week, that they're going to take Cam Ward too.
I don't think it's a good idea, but that's what we've been hearing.
Why is it that bad teams are always the ones that get tricked into doing stupid shit? Like, hey, a quarterback that's just really flawed, we're going to put him behind a god-awful offensive line. We're going to give him Jerry Jeudy and the day 3 All-Stars as his receiving core. Because even Elijah Moore's a free agent. And by the way, we can't afford to re-sign him, and we can't afford to replace him. So enjoy throwing to Cedric Tillman and David Njoku and whatever you chuck out there at running back.
David, 8 fingers in Njoku.
It'll be a blast.
Got him. There's another question that's in this chat that we got to address, but do you want? We can go in order here.
Let's go in order.
Best 3 D linemen in this draft.
Interior, it's Mason Graham. It's Walter Nolan at 2 for me. And then 3 gets into more of a nebulous spot of I will have Kenny Grant there. I'm almost to the point that you can't have Kenny Grant, Walter Nolan more than like if you send me your top 50 or your top 100 and you have those 2 far apart, I'm gonna need you to explain to me why. Because Nolan, you saw it for 1 year, so I understand why you would have Nolan ahead of him. But in terms of the raw and what you get in Kenny Grant, his upside is up there with Nolan, so I think they should be right beside each other. Now, in terms of edge rushers, it's Abdul Carter 1. For me, it's James Pierce 2, and then it's Mike Green 3.
Mike Green stepped into all of the allegations today and was...
Let me put it this way. If Mike Green's guilty of any of the things he's been accused of, he is the dumbest asshole on the planet. Because he didn't just say, I didn't do it. He said there's nothing there, and if you want to dig into it, dig into it. Feel free. The one at Virginia was anonymous.
Yes.
He has no idea who that was even referring to. And then there was a sexual assault claim in high school. Mm-hmm. There's never been a call. It has never been discussed in a police department in any form of official fashion. There wasn't even an inquiry. That's how non-existent this claim is. That's what was driving me nuts, is that I have channels to find these things out. There's nothing there.
It's been quiet. It's been completely
So
quiet.
I can't tell you it didn't happen. I'm just telling you it didn't go through any official channels. And after Matt Ariza, I'm going... Now, look, if a cop looks at me and says, I investigated this and I can tell you there's smoke there, then absolutely, I unwind everything I've said. As of right now, I have an FBI investigator that investigated this and literally can't even find where the complaint came from.
It's just a lot of smoke right now, and it doesn't appear to be coming from anywhere, which is super strange. I mean, it's lion season, and who knows who put this out and why.
I don't think it's a lying season thing. I think there was a complaint.
There could have been.
I think there was a complaint, and it could have been to an administrator. I don't know.
It could have been. It could have been legit. We don't know, but there's not.
It went away. I know that much. And then the anonymous one at Virginia, that's the one that everybody seems to want to really cling on to. There are 2 coaches that were on that staff that their phone number is in this cell phone. And guess what? Neither one of them wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Neither one of them wanted to tell me squat.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to see a little bit of Mike Green resurgence on the.
He's top
draft
15
boards.
pick.
Yeah.
He's a top 15 pick unless something else comes out. I'm not going to say I'm comfortable. I'm never comfortable when the word sexual assault come out about somebody.
No.
Because it's one of those things that it's impossible for me to know. And it's not that I'm trying to be a jackass about what you did or didn't do. I'm just looking at this going, okay, I've done this before, and this feels a lot like the Matt Ariza thing of why is this coming up now?
Yeah.
Not a word of it was said beforehand, and it was not uncovered by teams. None of the teams, I've had 2 teams ask me if I knew anything about it, which that tells me, okay, you've got guys that are even better than mine. So,
Yeah. Randy talking about Oladejo and Kuiper's first round.
Olafemi Oladejo, I think in the first round is nuts. I'm firmly on the side of it is completely insane to have him in the first round. Now, am I upset that Kuiper gave him some shine? Mel Kiper's the king of mock drafts.
Yes.
He's also maybe the most inaccurate of all of the national people at mocks. Mm-hmm. And I don't know this. I've never asked Mel this question. Mainly because the handful of times I've met him, it was an in passing thing and I didn't have the chance to grill him. I would love to ask him this question.
Yep.
Do you sometimes chuck names into a mock draft early on because you want them to be talked about?
Yeah.
Because invariably, he does this every year. He'll chuck a guy in the last 10 picks. All of us universally know there's no chance this kid's going in the first round. But he really likes getting in front of, I'm high on this kid. And he was super high on him in the article, and I'm good with it. I mean, if you want to take him in day 2, I think he has a very specific role, which we could narrow down into, but he's built like 4, and he was impressive in bursts at the Senior Bowl. I just kept looking at him going, I've seen you now play 3 positions, and I'm not really sure which one you play. But that's even a bigger story with you get into the way things go drafting for a team as opposed to drafting blanket players for every team in the league. It's really easy for me to say that O2, which I think Randy Lutz called him earlier, I'm a big fan of that nickname. And so that's what I'm going to call him from now on because my accent does not sound awesome that trying to say his name.
Yeah.
But I do understand trying to get names out there of, hey, I'm fond of this guy.
Dub's wanting to know, because we don't have this chat, we have my chat up on my phone here, about the Patriots, any Patriots noise.
I can put your chat over here
we put it over.
if I know where to, if I figured out where to get it.
Put it from the restream, it should be up.
That's a good call.
Patriot-wise, we got, Vrabel was pretty open that they were going to be aggressive when it comes to trades and free agency. They're going to spend for quality players, and I think that's important. It's only showing the one, whatever. Oh, no, it's showing them both. There you go. So I'm curious to see what they do. You're not going to, they're never going to tip their hand. Elliot Wolf also mentioned today that the roster decisions ultimately come down to him. He took a lot of the responsibility for last year's failings. So he came up and he said, man, it's my fault that all those hits that Jacoby and Drake May took were on me. And he wants to make sure that they build a better roster. I think you'll see them be aggressive. I don't think there's nothing imminent. There's no wide receiver trade imminent, although the T. Higgins news is interesting, and that seems to be sort of a semi-developing story where the Bengals committed to Jamar Chase publicly.
Yeah, and see, to me, that's not a story. Duke Tobin just said it out loud.
Yeah, he said
we
it out
all
loud.
knew it.
Of course we all knew it, but I think it maybe rubbed T the wrong way a little bit. And they'll need to
you also be careful with T because T loves to troll people. He does this all the time. And just chuck emojis there like, what do you think I'm talking about?
T's going to get franchise tagged no matter what. So if he's gone, it's a trade. It's a trade. It's going to, and I don't know if you're going to see that.
Look, you got a bunch of teams with money and very few guys to spend it on.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of high side in free agency.
We have the Patriots needs coming out probably later tonight, early tomorrow.
It'll be early tomorrow.
Yeah. And we struggled doing that one. We did it earlier out of alphabetical order because they have the most amount of money to spend. And we couldn't really figure out where they were going to spend it because
if T. Higgins doesn't hit the market and Trey Smith winds up in Chicago, which seems to be the worst kept secret in the world.
Yes.
Then who the hell do you spend the money on?
You overspend on like 4 guys.
Osa Odigizua.
Yeah. Yeah.
Milton Williams.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's going to Arizona.
No, he's going to Arizona. It'll be interesting. So we'll see what happens there. And then I mean that's all we've got from Patriots. There's nothing really. Vrabel's going to build the culture. That's what you're going to see. That was on the guitar in the middle of the room is the Kelly Olynyk. He's got a guitar leaning against the wall in a room.
When I get back, I'm building out my podcast studio. Yeah. Namely, I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss my microphone a lot. We hope that tomorrow we're gonna have a better setup microphone wise because I bought one for him.
Yeah.
That is gonna go in my sitting. I'm gonna turn my house into a place where literally, short of toilet time, I could podcast from anywhere.
What we've noticed is Airbnb's not built for the studio.
Although this one's sweet.
It's beautiful.
My bed is
great.
super comfortable.
It's been phenomenal.
I have okay, I do have to say this to people that, because you never know, you might have somebody that owns an Airbnb. Put bigger televisions in your Airbnbs.
Yes.
I'm blind, and a television this big is hard for me to see from across a big bedroom.
Also, TVs aren't that expensive anymore.
I have like 50 of them in my house.
Every TV should be a big TV. Stop making TVs that are 32 inches and under. There's no reason for that.
My wife loves to comment on the, well, you drive a truck that's very large, and you want your television bigger and bigger and bigger. Are you trying to overcompensate for something?
This is America.
Or
this is the United States of America. I'm fitting right in. I belong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to get him a dip of backy before this is all said and done.
It's been the fast food tour of America is the other thing that we've been doing here. We had a little Jack. We had some Jack in the Box. We had a little bit of. The others we had have been. We had to go for speed for lunch because we were hangry. We were hangry by the time we got to lunch.
You can get a belt in 2 hours, but getting a burger in 20 minutes is odd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ches Johnson says we're missing Bessie. I actually took somebody's advice, and I sent a couple emails out to asphalt artists on having one drawn because I want a sick tank in a foot cast riding Bessie.
Yeah, that would be
that's because I'm an asshole and I love moments in time.
Yeah.
So every event we go to, I take something. Whether it's a shirt or something like that, put in a shadow box to remember the event forever.
Yep.
I want Bessie being ridden by a cartoon tank with a snuffy nose, like a red, snuffy, drippy nose.
Yep.
And his foot in a boot.
I love that.
I think it's hilarious because I'm an asshole. And T's and P's the tank, that foot is killing him. So he will not be with us tomorrow. We'll be pre-recorded on the ESPN radio show.
Yes.
We are going to redub a mock draft where I don't sound like we're in a tunnel.
I mean, we're trying.
Yeah, we're going to put that out. We're going to have a bunch of stuff out on the channel. And this is, God, I love this week so much because it's just content fire hose, and I'm a fan.
We've been having a good time, and I think that we're going to get there. With I mean, there's so much content coming out. Obviously, I'll have a bunch of stuff coming out as well. It's been a learning experience for me, which has been a good time. I'm quite happy with the way things have been going so far.
And you're credentialed with NFL Media now, so you can get to all of them.
I am credential NFL Media. I have the thing. It's over there. Let's talk a little bit about Matthew Stafford, because originally you heard this and you thought, come on. And now are we getting to a point where it's like, maybe there's something here? We did hear a little bit of nonsense earlier today about maybe getting pushed out into a worse situation, which makes no sense.
Well, I mean, nothing's changed for me. I still think the Matthew Stafford thing is stupid. I think I'm believing it. I fully believe he wants $50 million. He's not worth $50 million, and I think he knows it. And if he doesn't know it, his agent should know it.
Yep.
So, do I think he's going to get traded to the New York Giants or anything like that? No, I don't. If he does, it means that the Giants have completely struck out on this class, and they're tapping out.
They're awful.
The Giants have Malik. Somebody asked me this the other day, and it got in my head, and I started really thinking about it. Name the 5 best players for the New York Giants.
Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors is one.
Who's that? They have a defensive dog.
Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence. That was 2 and 3.
Sexy Dexy.
Dexy would be 2 for me. Brian
And
Burns
that's
would be
it.
3.
Yeah, I was going to say Dexter Lawrence is it, and then
Who's
Burnsy.
4?
Great question.
You get to Kayvon Thibodeau way faster than
you don't want to get there.
You get to Andrew Thomas, who's been hurt for what feels like 10 years.
Yeah.
That team's awful.
It's not good. It's not a good team.
Also, this is why you don't leave GMs and head coaches in charge of god-awful dog turd teams, because they will start doing things like calling on Matthew Stafford to save their jobs.
It's not great.
Also, one of the highlights of my week so far was catching Brian Daboll cramming down a smoky lung treat. I did not see that coming.
Ripping darts. Just ripping them.
Lung darting it up outside the convention center where he thought nobody saw him. But you know who saw him? This fat bastard right here.
It's been a good time.
I almost asked him for one. I haven't smoked a cigarette in months. And I almost went, BD, let me get one of them lung darts, player. Let me holler at you, bro. I'm going to need one of them darts.
Oh, fully off the rails. It doesn't matter who's on the show. Stafford is going to be an interesting spot to land. Aaron Rodgers is the other kind of news
Aaron
of the
Rodgers
day.
wants to go to L.A. Well, no kidding, because you both want to play in California desperately. It's not with the Chargers.
What a terrible idea that is.
I almost hope it happens. Not because I want the Rams fans to be sad, but just because I want to sit back and go, see, it wasn't just the fact we have a lunatic owner.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's actually that that's who he is.
He's just absolutely insane. We saw some of these earlier today, and I'm going to completely catch you off guard here because this is fun. We're going to blind rank something.
Oh boy!
And we like doing.
Let me hit record just in case.
We are going to be blind ranking the 5 worst contracts in NFL history, and I'm not saying the 5 worst. I'm saying 5 contracts that are bad, and I'm going to give them to you. There's a random order, and I need you to put them 1 through 5.
Okay.
We're going to start off with a throwback to Nnamdi Asomugha.
Nnamdi was bad, but that contract was not as loaded as a lot of people remember it to be. It was bad for Philadelphia. It wasn't terrible. I'm gonna put Nnamdi at 4 just to save me in case there's one that it just didn't matter that much. They were handing out money like candy that year.
Yes, they were.
It just so happened that was like the.
He came off like an unreal season, and they were like, "This guy's going to be the savior. He's gonna turn everything around."
He was so good with the Raiders, and the Eagles went, "Okay, now we're going to bring you here, and we want you to do none of the things that led to us paying you."
Absolutely awful contract. Did not pan out well for them.
It was bad, but I know at least one that's coming, and it's definitely higher.
Brock Osweiler, after 1 year of being a starter.
Brock Osweiler, I'm going to put Osweiler at 2. Mm-hmm. Because it was so dumb. And I even liked Osweiler as a prospect coming out of Arizona State. The thing that was always so dumb to me was, okay, so you saw him in a situation that was just ideal.
It's perfect.
Because it was basically built for Peyton Manning.
Yep.
And he goes in there and looks half-ass competent.
Yep.
And so now we're going to turn you loose with the turd that was the Houston Texans at that time and give you all this money.
And
it
no
was
support.
horrific.
No support, all the money.
It was horrific. Yeah, I'll put Brock Osweiler at 2.
Your boy, Aaron Rodgers.
5.
It was a bad contract.
5. It was a bad.
But compared to the others.
I'm cheating.
Yes.
Because you said contract.
Yes.
If you said trade, then all of a sudden we get a little higher because the draft pick compensation is what makes it so bad.
Yeah.
The Jets were spending on a quarterback no matter who it was. That at least incited the fan base in New York. And it was fun in the beginning. And it got really tedious towards the end. The contract was not so bad. You're going to have to eat the money, but you knew you were going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
The contract was not bad. The trade was terrible.
So we've got Rodgers at 5.
Yes.
You put Namdi at 4.
Namdi was 4, and Osweiler was 2.
And you have Osweiler at 2. Obviously, Deshaun Watson has to be in this conversation.
1.
That's
half.
That's
Point
your,
2.
That's your 1 with a bullet.
An 8th. Whatever is higher than 1 is that's where he should be. And I knew that one was coming, which is why I wasn't saying 1 until I either had to or it had Deshaun Watson on the other side.
And I'm going to give you one last one that I'm sure you'll be comfortable having that at where it is. Kirk Cousins.
That's a perfect list.
That's
a list that was done exactly right. Because I will say Kirk was worse solely because you signed him and then it was almost like you didn't believe in him 15 minutes later. You took the pick with Penix. Why did you not just use the money that you spent on Kirk Cousins? You knew beyond a shadow of a doubt when you signed Kirk that you loved Michael Penix. Now being around the combine twice with 2 different quarterback classes, I can tell you definitively the scouts knew. And when they were meeting, they were saying, we're in on Penix. Penix is our guy. And you wasted all this money on Kirk and didn't put the pieces around Michael Penix.
I think that's a solid list. That's a solid blind rank of bad contracts in the NFL. We'll probably do some more blind ranking. We're definitely doing it on Great North. I think you're probably going to do it a little bit on the main channel as well.
I'm going to try to do one of the things that I want to try to do after the draft. The draft is obviously my passion. I think now you are about the 15th person that has said it is just obvious to watch that is what you like to do.
That's what you love doing.
I like doing the betting things. I like doing the fantasy things. I like doing analysis in the season. You know what I don't like doing? Hey, it's May 26th. Let's tickle the taint on the NBA just because we have anything to talk about. And then be like, hey, is baseball still a thing?
We talk about baseball.
Yep.
That's what we're for.
And I appreciate that greatly.
That's what we're for.
If it's not an oblong ball, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll cover your baseball needs. You don't need to worry about that. We're here for that. Dubs tossed in the Albert Hainsworth contract as well.
Hainsworth was terrible because everybody knew he was.
He was done.
Oh, I almost said that in offense. No, actually, I'm going to say it that way. He was a fat, lazy drunk, and we all knew it.
Yeah, he was done.
Yeah, he was a fat, lazy drunk. We all knew it. And Daniel Snyder went, I have to give him all the monies.
Yeah, that's a bad deal. That could be an honorable mention for sure. If
we're going honorable mentions, I have to mention Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell was on
Holy
the bad
shit.
contracts list.
You talk about a guy that you parlayed your greatest hit into just a boatload of cash.
There were a couple that were like Daniel Jones was on the list of potential contracts, but I don't even think
Daniel Jones would have been 2 for me.
It's
because you knew it was bad when you did it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
The Daniel Jones deal to me was like the one time you hooked up with the peg leg girl. Like, you knew it was bad before you did it. And yes, that is someone that I know. And feel free to guess it in the chat. I'm not going to tell you, but...
Matt Flynn doesn't quite get there.
No, he didn't get the money. And they tapped on it so fast.
Kenny Golladay got 4 years and $72 million.
Yep, that one was bad.
That's an ugly one.
Kenny Golladay got paid and then just gave zero shit.
Super Bowl champion Nicholas Foles, also not a great deal.
No, and I don't know why anybody ever thought that was a good idea. Hey, he won a Super Bowl. Awesome. So did Trent Dilfer.
Le'Veon Bell might be on the list as well, but those are just bad contracts. But those aren't, I'm going to Deshaun Watson hamstrings the Browns for a long time. Le'Veon Bell doesn't hamstring the Jets for forever.
It didn't help.
It didn't help, but it didn't kill you.
Le'Veon Bell was really more of like
he sat out his best year.
Well, it was just very obvious that this is a match made in hell. Like, he shouldn't be with Adam Gase. Adam Gase doesn't like him.
Yeah.
He didn't like it in New York. It was obvious he didn't really want to sign in New York. It's why it took so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got there, and it was obvious that he was not in shape, and he was not the player that we thought he was in Pittsburgh. And ugh.
Yeah. Still got some questions in the chat that we got to get to here. We scroll
go
down.
off either one.
Doesn't matter.
We'll go Gambit fan right there.
All right. So Rams are thinking they'll get Darnold, or if Matt Stafford walks.
There's been a loose discussion around here that if they trade off Matthew Stafford, this could be the full, almost rebuild on the fly, where you try to build around Puka and Verse and Fiske and Kobe Turner and Byron Young and the guys that you have.
Yeah.
And you try to just never crater. I think Sean McVay, but look, they're comfortable with Jimmy Garoppolo. I know that for a fact.
They said that. They said that out loud.
Yeah, they're good with Garoppolo if that's where they have to go. I don't think it would be Sam Darnold. Darnold, for me, has a market, but that market is the Titans, the Raiders, the Steelers, maybe, but I don't believe so.
If Cleveland goes quarterback at 2, I think it's the Raiders for Darnold.
If Cleveland goes quarterback at 2, then you see two go off in the top 3, probably 3 in the top 7. And I'll be honest with you, I'm almost to the point where that's just where I think it's going anyway.
Yeah.
Is that there's going to be 3 in the top 7. Jackson Dart's going to go to the Jets.
Yes.
It's the worst kept secret in the world, and no one's going to stop them from doing it. Yeah. It's the greatest lottery ticket of all time. And I said this from the jump. In terms of elite players, I have 3, no doubt, elite generational talents in this class. Then there are a couple more that are very scheme specific. I really like Will Johnson.
Yes.
I really like James Pierce. I really like Mike Green. I really like Will Campbell. And I even think Campbell gets into that generational spot. The problem is he doesn't fit the Jets.
Yeah.
Will Campbell doesn't fit the Jets. Mason Graham's not going to get there. Travis Hunter's not going to get there. Abdul Carter's not going to get there.
Yeah.
So you're going to reach on a player one way or the other. So if you're going to reach on a player, why wouldn't you reach on the most important player and take the true lottery ticket in Jackson Dart?
Jackson Dart is your raw quarterback. He's going to need some time.
I don't think he's as raw as people make him out to be.
For quarterbacks, he's not as raw as some of the corners are. Way more like they're going to need to sit for a bit. I think Jackson Dart can probably get away with a year and be perfectly fine next year.
I think Jackson Dart could start week 1 of next year, and I'm not any more upset by that than I will be with Cam Ward or with Shedeur Sanders.
I don't disagree. With that. Randy said that Shefty said something like one thing he was most sure of was Cleveland taking a QB. That's been the smoke.
For sure. That has been the talk of this. I'm not going to say that I don't believe it. I do. I don't think it's the right call.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those times that you're going to look back years from now and go, how the hell did we pass on Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
For Cam Ward.
Yeah, Cam Ward is going to be, I think Cam Ward will be a starting quality quarterback in the NFL.
I agree. I think he'll be one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league.
Yes.
And there's a great chance that his high side is in between Super Bowl Russell Wilson and what you're seeing now.
Yes.
That's his ceiling.
Which means you need to build a heck of a team around him.
You want me to tell you honestly, and this is me being full unbiased commentator. My team doesn't pick in the top 7. None of my team affiliations matter. I'm just being 100% honest with you. Mm-hmm. If the Browns take Cam Ward at 2, let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. He's going to start there for 3 years. And you're going to do the exact same damn thing you did with Baker Mayfield, which is you're going to let him walk out the door. You're going to trade him for a 4th-round pick. Another team's going to pick him up in that 4th-year window. And then you're going to watch him either bounce around or become a very serviceable starter in a place that was earmarked. Because now I've seen what you do. He would be an older 3rd, 4th year prospect, and you're literally going to do the same thing with Cam Ward that you did with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, it's
Cool. You took him at 2. You got nowhere near number 2 value for him. And what he becomes from then on doesn't mean a hill of shit to you.
No, it's not going to be great. Stacy with another great question there. Will there be a good OL or guard or interior D for Philly at 32? And I think we've talked about Philly being in real nice spot because someone is going to fall to them.
For sure. The Philadelphia is going to do what then. The funny thing is the 2 teams that trade scouts the most in the NFL are the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. When we go through GM interviews every year, watch the resume of every one of these guys and look at how many of them worked at Philly. It worked in Philly and then worked in Baltimore or vice versa.
Yeah.
So what Philly's going to do is they're going to sit at 32, wait to see who falls to them. If James Pierce falls because of character issues, they'll take him. If Mike Green were to fall, they'd take him. If Tyler Booker falls because some of the odd things that I've heard about him come out, then that's who they'll take at 32, and he'll play guard. Interior defensive linemen, I think there are a bunch. There are a bunch that fit in that range. You could take the highest one on the board. That's the beauty of being the king, is that you sit back and you let the board come to you. You don't have to go to the board.
You're not chasing. You don't have to go chasing at that spot.
By the way, that's also another reason that I look smarter than NFL GMs. I don't have to chase shit. I can look at mediocre things with mediocre traits with prospects and say, I'm not going to pursue that, knowing damn well that somebody's going to. It's like Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I'm going to be down on Cam Ward. That's what people are going to remember. And when he doesn't become an NFL superstar, people are going to go, oh, Jeremy was right again. It wasn't hard.
No, it's not complicated.
Because he doesn't have that kind of upside. I told you last year Jaden Daniels did. I told you Drake May did. Caleb Williams has it. His percentages are just low.
Yeah.
I don't see high-end traits with the other 3. Penix maybe, but he's way older than everybody.
Yeah.
He's way older than the average second-year quarterback.
So is Bo Nix, isn't he?
Bo is older, yes.
Yeah. Little maturity, and it goes a long way when you're a rookie.
And I'm not trying to jump out of range here. Brandon Hollum asked this question. I don't want to forget to get to it.
Yeah.
The odd things about Booker, there are a lot about his eating habits and his weight. He's not a bad kid. There's maybe a couple little immaturity things, but nothing that I even really give a shit about. I've heard some weird stuff about his diet and what they have to do to keep him within their preferred weight range.
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G., I think, knows some things about Booker because he lives right there, and he's really good at digging things out down there. Mm-hmm. I would be curious to compare notes with him of what I have heard and if that is what he has been talking about. Because I can't get anybody to say anything about him being a bad kid. I kept getting a reference to, and now the name's eluding me. We had 2 guards a handful of years ago. It was Jonathan Cooper and there was an Alabama kid, and now his name's blanked out of my head.
Yeah.
That was the comparison I kept getting, and he basically ate himself out of the league.
Said Booker blew up to like 350 before, so yeah.
He got up to 380 is what I was told.
Yeah.
He was 380 pounds in the offseason.
That's a lot.
That's a kid that you got to watch. You got to watch like hell because you're going to wind up with a big old contract here at some point. And if you have predilections to doing that, you can be a gigantic.
It's a problem.
And Hollum said T'Vondre Sweat's a good example of that. T'Vondre Sweat's weight fluctuates.
Yep.
But it never really had it's not Evan Neal. Evan Neal's the one that plays for the Giants. There was another one in that. We thought we had 2 home run guards in the same class, and I cannot think of this kid's name. I can see his face clear as day, but I cannot think of his name. He got T'Vondre Sweat. The production never really changed. It was all the conditioning. So I didn't doubt the talent on him. I doubt the talent on Booker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if we're going to find it here. You'll have to take a look and see if you can dig it up.
I can find it.
Who Dat Fam wants to know what happened with Walker from Kentucky. His tape 2 years ago was great. This season, he was horrible.
I have a different take on that than a lot of other people do. I think literally every single defensive player for Kentucky regressed last year. And I think there were certain reasons for that. Mm-hmm. I am not as down on Deion Walker as everybody else is. I think he's a good pass rusher off the jump. The thing I can't figure out is why are you built like a fucking brick shithouse? I mean, he's 400 pounds. He can't stop the run. I've never seen that before. All you have to do is get in the way.
His spin move covers 2 counties. Randy Lutz from the top rope.
I mean, I can't figure him out.
Oh, that's priceless. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. Dub's also mentioning that the Patriots will spend their money at a day spa.
Chance Warmack. That was the other guard I was thinking of.
There you go.
He went to the Titans, and I saw him in Nashville, and I swear to God, I think he weighed 500 pounds. He had the biggest head I have ever seen. He looked, honest to God, and I'm trying to say this in a delicate way. Chance Warmack had a head that made Tony Robbins look like the guy from Men in Black who got his head blown off. When it regrew back, he made Tony Robbins' head look about that big.
Yeah.
And that's a dude that's got a can opener, bro.
Yeah. Randy wants to know if there's character concerns with Burden. Lots of visible frustration on the field through the season. Keep hearing Ibuka rising is very professional. Kind of the antithesis.
For sure. Ibuka, I have the next negative word I hear about Emeka Ibuka will be the first.
Yep.
Burden, I haven't heard character things. The knock on Burden has been, how did you get to a point where we were manufacturing touches for you and you still had 700 yards last year? I get it. Quarterback play was awful.
Yeah.
But if you're that good, you should never have regressed to that point.
Yeah. It's not ideal.
Ibuka is the safest player in this draft. If he doesn't turn into a top 40 player at his position, I'll be dumbfounded. I don't think he has a range of outcomes where he's a top 10 guy, but I see no bust. I mean, I think my bust percentage on him is like 1.5% or some dumb shit.
He'll be fine. Yeah. I mean, we got through a pretty decent amount here. We're not going to... This is not a long night. Unlike Jeremy's show, Great North keeps it tight. We were on a tight ship.
We were 3 minutes late, to be fair.
We were. But we had one at the end there asking where we heard Milton to the Cardinals, and we didn't hear it.
Oh, no, I've heard it.
You've heard it.
I've heard that he would be... It's the relationship with Gannon.
Yes.
And the fact that he's very well thought of with Philadelphia people. You've got some former Philadelphia people in that front office, and that could very easily be where they prioritize spending their money.
Yeah. The only other thing I didn't touch there, Bassa saying back to college.
No, you can't go back. We're already done there. Now, somebody might have put that out, but it's not true. Jeffrey Bassa's here.
He's here.
Yeah, he's here. He was on Podium 6 earlier.
He's
here. If he decided he was going back to Oregon, nobody told him.
Sorry, bad news.
He's also, I love the talent on him. Damn, that kid's little.
Yeah, he's little.
Like, damn, that kid's little. Like, next to me, he looked like a little kid.
Yeah.
Until you saw his arms, and then you went, oh, no, he might be smaller than you. That dude would whoop your ass.
He lifts.
For sure.
He does.
He did not skip leg day as I did.
He does in fact lift, bro. Next week we'll be back with Dubs. Dubs and I back on the mic, doing the usual stuff. This week we've got just a slew of content coming out on both channels. Workouts start tomorrow. I'm really pumped to get to see that going on. We're gonna have some lives post workout.
Yes, we'll do a live every night. So here's our content schedule on the Sportsocracy. I will have the recording of the ESPN show.
Yep.
So what we ran into today is that we each have headsets that they transmit the audio back from the engineer back at Radio Ranch to us so we can hear them, so they can count us down and all of those things. We have to have that. And it was, since we brought Tank in, it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
He had to have it too. Well, that's how we set it up. Tank, after 20 minutes, was like, I got to get out of this chair because his foot was swelling and things like that. There was no audible.
No.
It would have taken me 20 minutes to audible, and I didn't have that ability. So we just kind of had to grin and bear it. We're going to record the episodes because we will be gone. We'll be gone all day during the live, so we won't be back here to actually do that. for an extended period of time. I will be doing some live stuff on our Facebooks and our socials. I'm going to go out on the concourse when big things happen and update players rising, falling. Then we're going to come back and do lives. We'll do those Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at some point. I can't tell you the time because I don't know exactly what the schedule is going to look like. And they may happen the next morning. I will let you know on social media. And then Sunday night, we will do a live 3-round mock draft. We're going to blow it out. We're going any player you want to talk about, anything you want to know, before I get back into my layer and really cram down the notes. That's going to be fun.
And then if you want more of that information, you got to go check out NFLdraft.net. Make sure that you're subscribed to the Sportsocracy. Do me a favor. Look, we're like so close. We got to get to 1,000. We got to get to 1,000 subs. We're at like 847. So it would mean a whole shit ton to me if you could just go ahead and hit that subscribe on the Great North channel. We'd appreciate it. We're live every Wednesday. We're talking hockey. We're talking football. And we're talking baseball during the season. So a little bit different. And I get it. Football's the baby. And we know that. And we appreciate that. But
they're all equal. They're all equally important.
We got a little spot for everybody else.
I don't. So my brain power tank. That's the first time I've done that.
That is, yeah.
Dave and I were playing a fun game of hey, pick a year and go run through the players. I'll tell you where they went to college. It is shocking the amount of useless shit that lives in my brain. And now I'm full in on this year's draft mode.
Yeah.
So I don't have the mental. I'm not smart enough to do other stuff.
We have a ton. Like we're going to be breaking down the NHL playoffs coming up. We'll be talking about baseball getting started, all of the nonsense. Dubs will be back with a Stone Stories per usual, which is our version of getting weird and a little bit outside. We have a good time with it. So appreciate everybody for stopping by tonight. I'm David Smith from Great North Sports, the Armchair Commentary, and so much more. That's Jeremy Green from the Sportsocracy and NFLdraft.net. We appreciate you jumping in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
How's the weather up there on the high horse that you fed with your daddy's money? How's it feel to be fake as a motherfucker? Hey, let me tell you something. They don't give a damn when the money's gone. When the people